Hello everyone. So welcome. Today's live is going to be with my special guest, Orshi, who is a vocal coach. And today we decided that we're going to collaborate and work on those, releasing those juicy sound of you. So let's see. And then we are adding her right to the live, and we're gonna deep dive into some juicy things. As you know that I am a tantric coach. Hi Orshi.
Hi, hi everyone.
So nice to have you on board. So basically the thematic going to be that we're going to talk about sound activation today, because so some of you know that probably if you're watching on my page, then my name is Alexandra and I'm a tantric sexuality coach. And also in tantra there is 3 different methods how you can activate your body, is through breath, sound, and movement. And one of my great friends, Orshi, is actually a vocal coach. So I want to introduce you to get your juiciness out, because many of the times I find with my clients that they are really suffering. They are not letting the voice out, they are keeping inside, and that's causing a lot of problems. So let's deep dive into. So please, Orshi, take the lead and introduce yourself a little bit. What do you do, who you are, and how this great life is gonna come along.
Sure. Thank you for having me. Yes, so my name is Orshi. I'm a mindset vocal coach. Yes, I have a international vocal studio which is called Phoenix Vocal Studio. And basically, what I do as a mindset vocal coach, I not only train people's voice, I also train their mindset as well, because we says many times it doesn't matter how talented you are if you have no confidence and if you don't believe it, then you're not going to go anywhere without confidence and belief and faith. So that's what I do. And yes, as you said, basically there is nothing better than actually free yourself up with your voice, using your voice correctly. So that's actually a beautiful feeling.
How long have you been working as a vocal coach?
Oh, it's been 17 years. So it's a long time. Yes.
Wow, amazing. And what is usually the cause then people come to you, that what are they are afraid that they don't have, they may be lacking confidence? What are other reasons? It's good to actually open up your voice.
Mm-hmm. Well, the good thing is I could say that I'm lucky because I meet with so many different people. So I meet, professional singers, I meet complete beginners, I meet just people who are just simply want to have fun and they want to learn to sing because they want to use their voice. So I would say that mainly what I do is like kind of a personal growth using singing or basically through singing, through using the voice correctly. I also do very extreme sounds, which is also very good and very connected to what you do as well, like the growl and stuff like that. So yes, I do all these screaming, vocal distortion, apart from everything basically that it's not clean. I do clean as well, but I also do and teach how to use the voice in a different way. So it's quite exciting.
Yeah, because I oftentimes feel that many of the people, we've been socially conditioned to actually keep quiet or keep lower the voice. You know, many of the time that maybe when you were a child, you've been conditioned into that. Don't be so loud, don't cry, don't shout, don't do this, don't do that. So I oftentimes find that when people come to me for de-armoring or tantra treatment, I really embrace them and encourage them to use their voice, but they are actually super shy and they are suffering. So do you have any tip for us and for me that how we can really enter into this and maybe get off? this from our mind and really access into this power?
Yes, yes, yes. It's very common as well that's especially in different cultures, but just in any way, you know, when we are kids, you can see parents just to tell them shh, 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 and they got used to that they have to be quiet. So it's, yeah, that's actually more difficult to make people be, you know, loud instead of, you know, being more quiet. So my experience is that you need obviously time for that. So step by step, because sometimes people are ready to actually just release, you know, the sound, but mainly I would say 8 out of 10 people need some time. So it's more like step by step. The best way to start with is definitely breathing, because they need to start to, you know, relax, and breathing is perfect start for that. So it's more like just kind of a simple breathing through the nose, breathing through the nose and out through the mouth, using your diaphragm. Just basically just a little bit watching your breathing. Very, very simple, and really, really letting it out, like everything. Imagine that anything, all the stress, all the shit that inside, when you breathe in, just breathe out, like with a big, 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 big exhale. And once people, you know, ready to move to the next step, that would be more like making a sound, not a big one, just whatever is coming out. That's also an important thing that they don't think. So don't think about, okay,
I
what
think that's
sound
the
I should make.
hardest, right? For many of us, especially if you are
I
a
know.
woman, I think that's not thinking. It's probably the hardest. Whenever you start meditating or doing something, right? That is like keeping your mind off track of things,
Yeah.
like not having to the do list, not having to pick up the kids, not having to do the washing or whatever you need to do. I probably think that's the hardest. So how we can get more grounded within our practice? What type of breathing? Like I teach also breathing. What type of breathing you would suggest people to really tap into before they start singing?
What I would say, definitely, the diaphragmatic breathing. So using the diaphragm, that's an important fact, because when we breathe from the lungs, what we usually do is basically just creates more tension. So if you know how to breathe from your diaphragm, you can relax this, not only the chest, but the throat as well. And that's also very important to actually use your voice to keep your throat relaxed and open. So that's why we need the diaphragm. The other thing, if you have thoughts coming up when you're breathing, just breathe it out and make the sound. When you make the sound, like if any annoying thoughts coming up, that's the best way to actually get rid of it immediately. You breathe in, just like just letting it
Yeah.
out as much as you can.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah, I often say also to people just to really probably breathe in through the nose, hold it for a couple of seconds, because people they are so used to breathe shallow. So most of the time, as you said, they breathe only from the chest. So they need to learn to deeply breathe into the belly, and then probably even just to ground yourself, taking 3 breath in, like deep breath, hold it for a couple of seconds, and then you can breathe out. And sometimes I think
That's good.
also for if you are so much into your head, it's really useful for visualization. Like you can visualize like a white light or an orange light or some kind of light that, when I often say to my client, that is the best, that really to imagine that you want to bring healing into your body. So you will bring into white light to clear all the things that you don't want. And when you do the out breath, actually, that you release all the things, that the trauma, the sadness, the anxiety, the depression, like any feelings that you've been suppressing. And I find often that as well, that when you breathe out, it's actually raising the vibration. So there is like a really cool breathing technique, like you probably aware of it, the superwoman technique. When you do the,
Yes, yes.
it's like really fast, like through breath through the mouth and then out through the
Yes.
mouth. but it's totally changed the whole body within like 1 or 2 minutes. So it's really useful. But let's go back to the sound. What type of sound you usually encourage people to make when they start a breathing technique? What type of sound they should make?
In the beginning, I would say any that's coming up. That's why I'm saying that trying not to think of it when you do in the beginning. What we actually said about holding the breath for a couple of seconds, that's also a very, very good one. And not just actually then about the releasing, but also another way to do that you breathe in, hold it for a few seconds, then blowing out, like very quickly, just out. That's also very, very good. But yeah, in the beginning, I would say any sounds. Don't not to worry about what it sounds like. If it's on pitch or something, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just letting it out. And later on, you can start to, if you feel like that you need more, or it's just automatically coming out. Just the growl is a good one. Yeah, or like a sigh. Something more like that. It's really coming from a deeper place. I would say these are quite a good one. If you start to think like high notes, low notes, then you think. So that's already that's not a, so it's a kind of, I would say that it's not, you shouldn't think of it. Just like all like a very, very relaxing and deep sound. Just release that.
Yeah, I often love to do, thank you also for this technique. I often love to do as well, like to breathe in and just really to like like just to like, like kind of like you ground yourself and you feel like you arrived to that space, to that body, to ask yourself like, how does my body want to make the sound, right? Because probably that would be the most important thing, that to really check in with your body, like to probably, it's good to place one hand in the heart and one hand in your diaphragm or in your belly. Take a deep breath in and then and you can make a sound out and just ask your body that, how do I want to make the sound? How do I want to feel? What needs to be gone from my body? And does it actually, the vibration, because I know that it's totally changed our vibration, so it can raise the vibration that making sound.
Absolutely.
But does it come from the belly, or does it come from all over the body, from the cells, or where does it come from?
Well, because we are all energy, so it's definitely coming from the whole body. So it's not only from, for example, the throat or the breath or the diaphragm, because many people think that when we sing, it's only this part, but it's not. So it's basically, you need to use all of your body. That's when actually can kind of connect and even stay grounded. So it's all the body, the whole body, definitely.
So you kind of need to relax your body, right? Like in order to make an open and really loud sound, you kind of need to practice. So it's very similar, like is the tantric, like the breath, sound and movement. So for me as well, like since I embarked on this journey, like I can really see that breathing method and also the sounding, it's totally changed the whole practice. So let's give some exercise to the people who are watching us. So maybe give an exercise that a beginner can tap into their own sounding, like how they can release. If they feel that there is a lot of social conditioning, they are afraid to be heard, or a lot of the times also I find that people, they're not expressing, so they kind of have the throat chakra blocked totally, and they are not able to express themselves, not able to communicate in the way that they should. So what we can tell them, that how they can access, maybe singing under the shower.
Absolutely. Well, singing in the shower is one of the best way actually, because you know when we are already in the shower, there are not too much habits inhibits
Mm.
left. So definitely, and it's also very good acoustic in the shower. So yes, that's a very good one. If we go to that, for example, like a 3 steps at the breathing, then the sigh and the growl. That's a good one for a practice. So at first, like I said, just make sure you do the breathing from the diaphragm through the nose and out inside the mouth. That's a very good start because that relaxes the body, and it's very, very important. There is no tension,
Mm-hmm.
because if there is tension, it's everything is closed inside. And obviously, the problem is when people start to they want to release some kind of tension, or they can't even speak because everything is so closed. They're gonna hurt themselves if they try
Mm.
to, for example, yell or shout or whatever. That's why we need to relax and do these relaxing exercises step by step. So first one, yes, breathing.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure that everything is relaxed and you calm yourself down. Second one is making sounds. So as you said, if you just ask your body what kind of sound I need, that's perfect. That's absolutely fine, because you can just, do whatever it feels good. So follow, because the body will tell you what you need. So just, yeah, whatever feels good. Just, if it's just a sigh, it's just a sigh. And sometimes, for some people, that's enough. They just need to sit down
Mm.
and you just relax. But if some people need more, like they feel like they have more
I think you
tension in
should
there,
show
then they
us. You should show us like
yeah.
the animal coming out
Yes.
from you. I love it. I heard it before, but I'm just loving it so much when you access to this powerful like tiger sound, or I don't know how to call it, but I love it really.
Okay, yes. So basically, the third step is like when you do actual growl. So in this case, I'm using my false chord, so that also people can they can calm down, because they're not gonna hurt their voice, because we have the true vocal cords and we have the false cords. And if you do it with the actual like energy and boost, you're not gonna hurt your true vocal cords, which is what we use when we speak and sing. But
Mm-hmm.
when we do screaming, we use the false cords if we do this type of screaming, like. Like
I
this.
love it.
And I and
It's
obviously no,
like
I
the
felt nothing
tiger
because
is coming for you.
so you can do this lower, higher, whenever actually you feel like to release or just let go.
Mm, super. And what would be your tip that if someone has blockage in the throat, so they will say like this guy sounds everything amazing, but I just feel like I cannot make sound, because many times that when I have a client, they say like I understand consciously like I should do it, but I'm unable to do it. Is there any tip that you could give to us that what they can do to really tap into that, to release?
In that case, if somebody feel like that there is a physical barrier, obviously the very first what I'm doing, I'm asking them if they've been to, for example, doctor. If the problem is medical, I send them to an ENT to check if physically there is any kind of barrier that could be. If it's nothing, then it's, I would say that it's more emotional. So
Mm.
emotional or a mental block. So in this case, that's why I'm doing the mindset coaching as well. So
Mm-hmm.
we can actually have a kind of digging deeper and find out when that blockage happened
Mm-hmm.
before in the past. Because once we figure this out, once we find the source, then we can release that. So that's what I would do,
Mm.
that first checking if there's a medical issue. If not, then we're just going to find out and a little bit dig deeper where the blockage actually happened. And at the same time, obviously, I would do some kind of exercises, relaxing one, uh, nothing major one, just something that makes him or her relax and getting used to their own
Mm.
voice.
And what do you think about when people say like, oh, I can't sing? Because many of the time that we put ourselves down, like for example, I believe also like, oh my god, my voice is terrible, like maybe I could sing under the shower, but really to start opening up and maybe to sing in front of people, that's impossible. So how you can overcome this fear?
That's again, I would say it's more like a mental block, because everybody can learn to sing. It's just a limitation, because we were singing before we were speaking when we are born. So everyone is born with basically being able to sing. So it's just the years. And as we growing up, you know, the environment, they make us believe that we cannot sing. It's just a mental blockage,
Yeah.
nothing else.
And also last time you told me something about the third eye activation. So maybe you can
Oh yeah,
you can
yes,
just
yes, yes. Yes, so basically, there is a the proper when you I would say, so when I teach, you know, singing, the proper technique is basically we have a smiley line like this, you know, and whatever we sing, we need to imagine that whatever we sing, it's above this line like this. There is a few expression like singing above the pencil or using the mask or singing in the mask, but I like to say that basically focusing on the third eye, because that's the direction. So whatever, it's basically just a placement change, and that's one of the best way to avoid the using the throat. So when people actually stuck and they hurt themselves, if they cannot go higher in pitch wise, it's because mostly, I would say 90%, that they are using the throat and they are not coming from this line and above. So whenever we sing or we speak, when we learn the right position, it's basically focusing on the third eye. It's kind of projecting, imagining.
Yeah, I think that's a great way as well, like to really project yourself ahead. Do you think as well, like singing could help people to boost their confidence? In, let's say, I have many client guys that they are shy to approach women, you know, when they come to maybe cold approach, or they are in the bar and they are really shy, not wanting to go there. So if they would take singing or accessing their voice, would it help them?
In general, I would say music. Yeah, music and singing could help definitely, because it's all about the emotions. You know, music, I always say that singing is not a science, it's basically art, and art is nothing else but basically the reflection of our inner selves. So whenever we use any kind of art, could be singing or music or painting or dancing, that's when you can actually connect with who you are. So every time when you sing a song or when you dance to music, you start to, you know, what is it, like freeing up the emotions, and you start to feel the emotions. And let's say that, for example, there is a song that you don't want to listen because it you know, gives you bad memories. And this is, I would say that then listen that song, because that means that something has to come up. Same thing with the singing. He might start to sing a song and start to being able to connect with that emotion that would help to get rid of, and then basically free themselves up and go to any girl and talk to them, because it's all about them, not the girl. It's about if they are confident, if they have the confidence, and if they believe, then it doesn't matter which girl is it.
Yeah, I think it's it's beautiful. I totally agree that it's like weighing up, like showing up for yourself. And I see as well, like with my clients, the more tantric practice they do, that the more connected they become with their own reality, their own feelings, their own truth. So they be able to really show up for themselves in any kind of situation. That's so good. So let's, I think we are pretty much, anything you like to add more, or anything that you feel that you still want to share with the people about the activation with the voice?
no, I think you asked great questions already. So I think well, obviously I could talk about this for like hours. but I think the main things that people need to know, or they would be interested
Okay.
in voice and sounds.
I
I
think
said.
the only thing then we should do just maybe give one exercise to people that tonight, if they go off from this live, then they can take away. So, what would be the one exercise that you would give to people as a gift that they can start practicing tonight?
Sure. I would say, well, there are two of them actually. So I attempt two. But one of them is a very, very well-known exercise. So it's not mine. We all singers we use this. It's basically the lip roll. Is the That's actually a great one to relax. It's perfect, and it's very easy to go higher, lower, and it's very good for the breathing as well. But for the relaxation, that's very good. The other one is called ua. Ua. It's like almost like ua, like a baby, and that's
Uh-huh.
why it's a very good one. It's a slide exercise, like you're starting from almost like an arc or rainbow, whatever actually you can visualize, more like a ua, coming it down. Don't worry about the pitch. That's not the point. That's not the point. The point is that you are actually starting to release that part, that kind of inner child of yours, like with the oa, oa, oa. You can go as high as you can. Again, no thoughts, nothing or whatsoever, just like a oa. And if you go even higher, that's even a bigger release. So it's a beautiful exercise.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Yeah, I
Thank you.
also feel that there is so much with the voice. Like, I usually, when I do that, I teach something called inner smile. And within the inner smile meditation as well, that there is different sounds. So there is like the sound of like shh, shh, or the sound of like ha, or chop, chop, chop. And I think it's also funny that when you go for sound healing as well, they use the balls, and maybe one sound make me feel like super excited, and then it's really taking away from you or stuff. So it's super important, I think, also that guys, if you have a chance, that really just maybe go in the shower 5 minutes, put one of great music, and tap into like being playful, basically, that playing with your sound, letting it out, and letting your liberation come alive. I think that would be very beneficial for tapping into your
Absolutely.
orgasmic and also for your pleasure potential. Because as well, that whenever you're doing tantric practices or self-pleasuring, it's always really good to have a lot of voice and making sound and making that you coming out, that everything is tapped inside you, the energy and the blockages that can open up. And as you practice more, then you become more and more confident within yourself. So thank you so much, Orshi, to have you here
Thank you for having me. It
today.
was a
I
pleasure.
hope you guys like it. If you like, give it some thumbs up. You can share. I'm going to give it here, leave it on my wall, this live, and you can drop in the comment if you watch the replay, or if you have any questions for either of us. We are happy to answer it in the comments below. And thank you so much, guys, and have a lovely day or night or wherever you are in the world. Pussy, bye.
Bye bye.